because naturism isn't a fad.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there are naturist clubs out there that are turning 100, you know, around now. You know, I'm not sure. There's quite a lot that appeared in the late 20s, early 30s, wasn't there, and stuff. And so as a movement and as a club, as a community, you know, they're you know, we're talking about 100 years old, but beyond that, it's part of humanity.
Yeah.
We have always spent time naked. We have always swam naked. We've always been in the sea naked. We have always been naked in front of each other and around each other, and it's never stopped. I think the only reason naturism exists now is because in the 1800s we started to try and force laws upon people wearing swimsuits, and you know, in what 30 years there was naturist groups appearing in the late 1800s, and because we automatically, instinctively want to spend time naked in our lives. And I think if the relevance is not in something new, but in something old.
Yeah.
It's not in something fashionable, but in something incredibly just traditional. And I think we forget that.
Primal is the word. Primal's the word. It's connecting us with something from the past. I mean, if you think about modern showering, I mean, everybody showers, you know, even dressed people shower. I mean, I do actually ask people who tell me they could never be naked, do they shower dressed? Just to be pedantic. But if you think about it, you stand with water falling on you, naked, and you rub the body. Well, we've been doing that for 45,000 years. Under waterfalls. And I think what people don't realize, everyone feels great after a shower. They feel fantastic, and that's because they've replicated nature. I think they stood under a waterfall, washed, and then rubbed themselves down and walked into the bedroom. Most people loiter and are not in a hurry to get dressed. And yet then they put the clothes on, they go outside and they pick up a campaign poster and say naturists are all perverts. It's crazy. Because they can't actually see that their own behaviour proves that they actually enjoy their nudity. You know, which is why, you know, I can be a bit facetious with textiles, but I think it's primal. I think when we're naturists, we're connecting to where we should be. The modern world, the world of stone, as I call it, is unnatural. So, you know, again, something I say an awful lot is when you turn away from the unnatural and walk back to nature, you feel more completed as a human being. You feel more a part of life. You feel more part of the earth, you know, and I just think you can't separate naturism and the natural world.
It's why people enjoy holidays and camping.
Yeah. You know, we're all hunter-gatherers and roamers.
You know, and that, like we said earlier about having a swim, and then swim, you know, in a swim costume, and then having to swim without a swimming costume. It's the same with showers. If you step outside and have a shower in the sun, that it takes your that wonderful thing of showering inside the house to another level.
Yeah.
And you know, it is phenomenal. You know, it's brilliant. I mean, and I think, you know, it does all come down to the fact that we have to just recognize that naturism is part of us. It's part of us all. It always has been.
Yeah.
It's just that we didn't use a word, and it didn't have rules, and it didn't have clubs because it didn't need it. Because people just got on with it. People just had a life. People would go to the beach and have a swim, and they wouldn't think, "Oh my goodness, me, I'm naked," because they wouldn't consider it. And you wouldn't point at someone and say that's a naturist, because they just didn't consider it. And the only reason naturism actually exists is because we started to consider it. We started to consider that we have to start covering up. We started to consider that there's something wrong in nudity. You know, I mean, you know, particularly during the Victorian times, where they started worrying about, you know, table legs and things. You know, and so it is a reaction. And now we're doing it again, but we're doing it again in a negative way. We are reacting to society instead of reacting to society to find naturism. We're now reacting to society to lose naturism.